Good morning students. Today we will just continue the lesson from where we stopped in the other class. I remember teaching you the vascular tissue system for you the other day. Just recollect what you learned the other day. We just went about with various definitions like radial, conjoint, collateral, bicollateral, concentric, endarc and exarch. Okay. Now today we'll just go into the next topic here, which is going to be the internal structure of dicot root. Okay. In dicot root, say you have to imagine the diagram. A section of diagram only is given for you. Okay. Don't imagine the root will be looking like this. Okay. Root is of course cylindrical in shape. You have to imagine in a transverse section. That's a meaning. TS refers to transverse section. So you have to imagine the diagram in such a way that only one part of it is being focused for you. This is a view under a microscope. Okay, the diagram has been provided for you, which will look how it is going to be under the microscope. Okay, this is there for your practicals also. So we have to practice the diagram as well as you need to learn the points also. Practical notes is totally different. We'll go to that part later. Now just learn along with me the TS of dicot root. Let's see what is this TS of dicot root is going to comprise of. Okay, just have an outer layer. You can see the outermost layer is called as epiblemma. Okay, the word epi refers to, you can see the outermost layer, a single layer is there. Okay, outermost layer, a single layer is there. Okay, and in this single layer we don't have the cuticle or stomata. Again, recollect what you learnt in your 9th standard. Stomata helps in gaseous exchange as well as in the process of transpiration, which is totally absent in the case of roots. I am discussing about the roots for you. So roots will not undergo this process of transpiration or photosynthesis because it is present under the soil and it is not having that green color pigment also in that. So that is the reason it will not undergo that process. Okay. So instead it has got root hairs on it. Of course, root hairs are the structures that you can see in many plants also, tiny structures. If you have seen your mother buying greens, okay, you can see the tiny root hairs there, and at the same time in the carrot you can see the tiny root hairs. Okay, all these things are going to be the root hairs. Okay, now bring that root hair to your imagination. That is going to be present in the outermost layer. Okay, this layer is also called as piliferous layer. Okay, I repeat the word, it is also called as piliferous layer. Okay, the second layer is going to be the cortex layer. What is this cortex layer? Again, what you have learned in your 9th standard only, that basic only is going to help you here. Okay, this cortex is going to be a multi-layered zone. Okay, multi means many, many-layered zone which is going to comprise parenchyma cells in this one. Okay, now what is the role of this parenchyma? Parenchyma is going to store food and water. Okay, and you can see lots of spaces in between. Have a look at this cortex layer. This is a cortex layer, and in between this cortex layer you can see lot of spaces in between. The word spaces are given a term called as intercellular space, meaning to say in between the cell there is a space. Okay, now later on I'll tell you when the water is moving why there is a space also. Okay, the next layer you can see a circular space here. Are you able to see the circular space? Okay, a circular space which is going to be the circular in structure, which is now going to be having the first layer is called as endodermis layer. Have a look at this one. You can see a single layer of endodermis. Epidermis is going to be the outer layer or piliferous layer, and endodermis is going to be innermost layer. Epi means outer, endo means inside. Okay, a single layer, but the difference here is just the shape alone is a difference and where it is going to be present, and the function alone differs. Okay, epidermis is going to be the outermost layer. Epiblemma or epidermis, that's going to be the outermost layer which offers protection, whereas this endodermis is not offering any protection, but instead it is present just a layer below the cortex. Okay, and in the endodermis if you see it looks like a chain. Okay, are you able to see a layer? Okay, it looks like a chain, and in that area you can see certain areas of this one are having thickening parts. Here you can see in this diagram a thickened layer. Here again we can see one thickened layer here. Okay, in the four corners. In this diagram they have just given 4, but usually it can be more than 4. Any number can be there. That thickening layer is made up of a protein that is called as suberin. Okay, now there is a term applied for the thickened area on the endodermis, that is called as Casparian strips. Okay, that is called as Casparian strips. I have given here in the notes for you. Okay, it shows band-like thickenings called Casparian strips. What is the function of this Casparian strips? It helps in the movement of water, salts from the cortex into the xylem. Okay, for that purpose only this Casparian strip is present. Okay, the next layer is going to be called as stele. Okay, you have to pronounce it as stele. That's called as stele. This comprises of three layers. One is pericycle, okay, and the xylem and the phloem. Okay, pericycle, xylem and the phloem. This pericycle and vascular bundle is going to be xylem and phloem. These two together comprises the stele. Okay, let's see what is the role of this pericycle. Okay, pericycle is just present just below a layer below the endodermis. Okay, it is a origin where lateral roots arises. Okay, that's the only function of pericycle. Okay, next one is going to be the vascular bundle. I repeat once again, stele comprises of pericycle and the vascular bundle. Vascular bundle is going to be xylem and phloem. So I am naming this area as pericycle, xylem and phloem together is going to be the stele area. Okay, now let's recollect what we learned there already. Okay, in the previous class I gave you some terms for you. I don't know whether you all remember those terms. Okay, I gave the word as radial, then I gave the word exarch, tetrarch, conjoint, collateral, like that. Let's see what is this one. Okay, let us now focus. Please have a look here. You can see the endodermis. Below the endodermis you can see the pericycle. Below that you can see bundles of xylem and phloem. Have a look at this. It looks like a cross for you. Here you can see 4 bundles of xylem. Have a look. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 bundles of xylem is there. Since 4 bundles of xylem is there, it is called as tetrarch. Tetra means 4, so they gave the term as tetrarch. Okay, and next you have got the xylem is in such a way arranged whereby you can see the largest xylem is facing the center. Have a look at this. You can see the largest xylem is facing the center and the smallest xylem is facing the periphery. Periphery means outside. Okay, such a term also I explained for you in the last class. Such a term is called as exarch. Okay, I repeat now. Now the xylem is exarch and tetrarch. Okay, and you can see green colored structure is going to be the phloem. You can see in this one green colored structure. Have a look at this one. Okay, this green colored structure is now called as the phloem. Okay, so you can see bundles of phloem alternating with xylem. Such an arrangement is called as radial. Okay, and next is going to be the pith, where in the case of dicot root the pith is not present. Okay, it is absent in the case of older roots. Okay, you can see. So I have just written the word as pith. Hope you all understood the structure of dicot root. Okay, next I repeat once again. Let's just sum up with what we done in the last class. Here I am repeating. Here you got one diagram on the top. You can have a look at this diagram. This is called as ground plan. Okay, ground plan, don't bother much about this. You need not draw this diagram at all. You have to be concentrating only on this larger one. Okay, the enlarged view I can say. Okay, don't worry about this one. This is not for you. This is only for the higher secondary classes. So let's go on with this one. I repeat once again. You can see a single layer of epidermis. From the epidermis you can see the root has emerging. Epidermis is otherwise given the term as epiblemma or piliferous layer. Okay, a single layer. Okay, below that you have got the cortex layer, which is going to be many layered. Okay, cortex is made up of parenchyma with lots of intercellular spaces. It's going to store food and water. Below that you can see the circular structure, which is going to be the endodermis, which is a single layered cell. Okay, which is compactly arranged and there is no space in between. Below this endodermis is going to be a single layer of pericycle again. The function of pericycle is going to be, you can see a brown color layer there. The function of the pericycle is going to have the lateral roots arising from that area. Now you can see have a focus over the xylem and phloem. I repeat once again, you have 4 bundles of xylem and 4 bundles of phloem. You can have a look at this also. 4 bundles of xylem alternating with 4 bundles of phloem. Such an arrangement is called as radial arrangement. Since 4 bundles are there, we are given the term as tetrarch. And you can see the protoxylem is facing the periphery and metaxylem is facing the center. Such an arrangement is called as, you can see what is that arrangement called? Exarch. Okay, here in this diagram you don't have the pith at all. So we just give the word as pith is absent. Okay, now I'll move on to the next one. A comparison is being done. One is going to be dicot root means the next comparison is going to be monocot root. Okay, you may have a look at the diagram. It may appear similar to it, but the major difference comes in this area of the vascular bundle. Okay, apart from this, all the other regions remains the same. Okay, now again a same repetition here also. You can see this is a ground plan diagram given for you, where you can see the circular structure. All along its margin is going to be the root hair, and inside is going to be the vascular bundle. Around that you have got the cortex. So don't bother much on this diagram. Let us focus our idea only on this enlarged view. Okay, this is going to be having a single layer again, just like that. So you have got the epiblema layer. Okay, below the epiblema, which is going to be a single layer, here also no stomata and cuticle. Okay, just it offers protection. Below that is going to be the cortex layer, which you can see a many layered cortex. Okay, and you can see the it is arranged in such a way, it is made up of parenchyma cells. Okay, so intercellular spaces are also present here. You can see lots of gaps in this diagram. Okay, meaning to say it can store water and food in this one. Okay, now just going on to the middle area, here you can see a circular structure where a single layer of cells are going to be present, which are compactly arranged. That is now called as endodermis. Here again you can see the Casparian strips. They are there. I told you it is made up of a proteinaceous substance that is going to be called as suberin. Okay, it is called as suberin. Okay, and along with it you have got passage cells which will help in the passage of water. Okay, below this endodermis layer you can see the steel layer. Again recollect children, I told you steel is made up of pericycle, vascular tissue and pith. Okay, now let's have a look at how the pericycle is going to be looking here. Here again you can see I have just given the diagram here. You can see the pericycle is going to be a single layer just below the endodermis. Here again it has got the same function just like dicot root, where you can see the lateral roots arising from this one. Okay, it's just a single layer. Okay, it has got no other function to say basically. Next in the order comes the vascular tissues. Again, it's going to be the xylem and the phloem. Okay, xylem and phloem, have a look at this diagram. You can see bundles of xylem. Okay, not one or two, you can see many bundles of xylem. Okay, many bundles, you just cannot count in this order. Okay, many bundles of xylem you can see. Such an arrangement is called as polyarch. The word poly means many. Since many xylem are there, it is called as polyarch. Okay, and here the xylem is arranged in such a way, it is giving an exarch condition. Have a look at the diagram again. You can see the metaxylem is facing the center and the protoxylem is facing the periphery. Such a condition is now called as exarch. Okay, so both the dicot root as well as the monocot root, exarch condition is seen, and here since many bundles are there, you can see the arrangement is in such a way, it is called as polyarch. Okay, and here you can see in the center again, you can see one labeling called as pith. Pith is again made up of similar cell, just like this cortex. You can see similar cell in this area inside also. Now the terminology changes. Here it is called as cortex. Here it is now called as pith, because both has got a different function. Okay. Now the function of the pith is to store food. If there is going to be excess food in nature, the starch grains especially can be stored in the pith. Okay. You can have a fast sum up of what we have learned. I repeat once again, you have got the epiblema, which is going to be the outermost layer. Here you don't have any cuticle or stomata. root hairs are present, otherwise it is known as piliferous layer. Next is going to be the cortex layer, where you got the parenchymatous cells with intercellular spaces. It stores food and water. Endodermis, it shows band-like thickenings called Casparian strips. It helps in the movement of water. Steel, it includes pericycle and vascular bundle. Now, what is the function of endodermis? Basically, it helps in movement. It is just a single layer lying below the cortex. Okay. Now, the next one, you are going to have a look at the pericycle. It is a site of origin of lateral roots, I said, and this is a layer that is present below the endodermis. Okay, a strong layer we can say. Next is going to be the vascular tissue. Here the arrangement is in such a way, each bundle of phloem is alternating with each bundle of xylem. Okay, so such an arrangement is called as radial. Okay, radial means arrangement of xylem and phloem in an alternate manner. Exarch means metaxylem is facing the center and protoxylem is facing the periphery. The word polyarch means many. Poly means many. So, since many bundles of xylem is present, such a condition is called as polyarch. Next comes about the pith. Pith is present in the center and you can see them. It is going to store the food. Okay. Now, a comparison is being given, children. Differences between dicot root and monocot root is being given for you. Okay, you can have a look at the differences there. It's given. You have to memorize this table for a 2-mark question. 4 points are given for you. It's a 2-mark question and many distinguish is there in this lesson. At least one difference between or distinguish can be expected in your exams. So, see to that you write properly. If you have a look, the first comes the tissues as our tabular column. Next is going to be the dicot root. Next is going to be monocot root. While writing, please don't change the order as you like. You are expected to write as given in your textbook. Okay. Have a look at the table now. The number of xylem is given. Under dicot root, it is tetrarch. Just now we saw 4 bundles are there. Under monocot root, it is going to be polyarch, meaning to say it has got many bundles of xylem. Next, cambium. About cambium, I'll let you know now. Cambium is present in the dicot root only during the younger stages, but in the case of monocot root, it is totally absent. Secondary growth, it is present in dicot root but absent in the monocot root. In the case of pith, dicot root, pith is absent, whereas in monocot root, the pith is present. Okay, let's now go on with the next one, which is going to be the monocot stem. Have a look at the diagram now. Monocot stem. When I say the monocot stem, this diagram also may look very much complex for you. This is again there for your practicals, children. So, you have to go into this dicot stem diagram. I will give you the practice later on for you. Now, just have a look at this one. Okay. Above, the ground plan is given for you. Okay, let us ignore the ground plan. Let us go on with only the enlarged view. How it's going to look like under the microscope. Okay, let's see how it's going to be figuring there. Okay, one basic difference which we need to understand here between the stem and the root is, if you see, various colors are being given. One color which you can see here is going to be a green colored structure. Okay, can you guess what that green color will be? Yes, of course, the stem looks green in color. Okay, when young, when I use the word stem, we are talking only about the younger plant. Whereas when the stem turns into a tree, you can see them, the color changes. Okay, let's not go into that one. When as long as it is going to be a small plant, you can see the stem will be green in color. What is the role of being green in color? It helps in the process of photosynthesis. We'll just have a look at that one right now. Okay. First, let's see how it's going to look like under the microscope. Okay, here you can see 2 bundles are being shown. Okay, 2 bundles. So, we'll just talk about only one bundle. Okay, how it's going to look like under the microscope. Okay, have a look at the outermost layer. In the outermost layer, you can see the epidermis, which is going to be a single layer of parenchyma cells. Okay, a compactly arranged parenchyma cells. Here, a thick cuticle is present. Now, what is the role of cuticle? Cuticle is going to be an extra layer present in the stem which is going to offer protection. Okay, and here multicellular hairs are absent. Some plants which are young, say for example in the case of lady's finger, tomato, you can see hair-like structures. Most of the plants lack this hair-like structures. So in general they give the word as lacking in multicellular hairs. And stomata is also less in number. Since stomata is less, exchange of gases will not take place in the stem. Okay, it takes place only in the leaf. Bear that in your mind. When we come to leaf, we will be talking about that more in nature. Okay, the next layer just below this, you can see a layer. Got the epidermis. Below the epidermis, you have got the many layered structure that is now called as hypodermis. Okay, this hypodermis is going to be a layer which is going to be made up of collenchyma cells. Now, what is this collenchyma? If you have a look at the diagram, you can see this collenchyma layer is drawn thicker compared to this layer. Compare these two layers, children. You can see one thick layer. Only, of course, 2 or 3 layers only is being drawn for you. But compared to this layer, or I can say this layer, you can say this layer will be thick in nature. Meaning to say, it is thick and because of the, it has to give mechanical support. For that purpose, it is thick in nature. Okay. Middle layer, you can see the cortex layer. Okay. In the cortex layer only you can see this green color structure which is going to be the chlorenchyma. I pronounce the word. First layer is going to be collenchyma here and the second layer is going to be chlorenchyma. Word itself is there. Chlorine. What do you mean by the word chlorine? Chloroplast is present. So since chloroplast is present, it is called as chlorenchyma. So, chlorenchyma here actually photosynthesis takes place to some extent. Okay. Below this layer, you have got the inner cortex layer or you can see this parenchyma layer similar to root. Okay. These 3 layers totally consists of cortex. Outermost layer is called as hypodermis. Middle layer is going to be the middle cortex which comprises of chlorenchyma and the inner cortex layer which is going to be the layer where gaseous exchange and storing of food material takes place. Below this, let's talk about how the layer. Okay, I will just take into account just one bundle. Either you can take into this bundle or this bundle into account. Okay, let's see what is the layer is going to be. Okay, of course, the outermost layer is going to be the endodermis. Here, endodermis is again the innermost layer. It consists of a single layer of cells which stores starch. Okay. Now, this layer is given the term as starch sheath. Okay. It is given the term as starch sheath. Here you can see I have given for you starch sheath. Okay. Have a look at this one. The next layer is going to be the layer where you can see just below the epidermis you have got the stele. Here again you have got the stele which will be having the 3 layers which is going to be the pericycle, vascular bundle and the third layer is going to be the pith layer. Okay. Pericycle is of course a single layer just below the endodermis. Okay. It is a single layer below the endodermis and it is made up of alternative layers of parenchyma and sclerenchyma. What can be its function? Again, it helps in giving the mechanical support. Okay. Next is going to be the vascular bundle. Let's talk about how the vascular bundles are going to look like in this diagram. Okay. Vascular bundle, we are going to talk about only 2 things. One is going to be the xylem and another one is going to be the phloem. When I use about the xylem, we use a word here. Between the xylem and phloem, you can see in the middle cambium is present. Have a look here. You can see between the xylem and phloem, cambium is present. When cambium is present between xylem and phloem, such a condition is called as open. Now I am explaining all the terms for you children. Open. Second one is going to be endark. Endark here means here you can see the bundles are in such a way. Protoxylem is facing the center and metaxylem is facing the outer part. Okay. Such a condition is called as endark. Next you can see collateral. What do you mean by the word collateral? Xylem is lying towards the center and phloem is towards the periphery. Here again you can see the diagram. Xylem is in the center and phloem is towards the periphery. Such a condition is called as collateral. Again, conjoined. You can see xylem and phloem are occurring in the same radius. Such a condition is called as conjoined. Inner to this, you can see layers of parenchyma cells, which is now called as the pith. This is the area where storage of food materials take place. Okay, just we'll have a recap of what we have learned. Here, epidermis is going to be a single layer which is going to have the cuticle. Okay, the cortex is divided into three regions, namely hypodermis, middle cortex and inner cortex. Hypodermis is going to be having a 3 to 6 layers of collenchyma cells which gives mechanical support. Next, middle cortex, which is made up of chlorenchyma. Here photosynthesis takes place. Inner to that is going to be the inner cortex, whereby it is made up of parenchyma cells. Here it stores the food materials, nothing but the starch. Okay. Next is going to be the endodermis, which is going to be a single layer of enclosed with barrel shaped cells which are tightly packed here. Here is a layer where starch is getting stored. Okay. Such a condition we use a word as starch sheath, not sheet, you have to pronounce it as starch sheath. Okay. Inner to that you have got the stele. Here the stele comprises the three regions, namely the pericycle, vascular bundle and the pith. Okay. Pericycle is going to be a single layer present below the endodermis, and it has got alternate patches of parenchyma and sclerenchyma. Okay. Below this you have got the vascular bundle, which is having a both xylem and phloem. In between xylem and phloem, KMM is present. Such a condition we give the term as open. Since you got the, in the case of endark means you got the protoxylem facing the center and metaxylem facing the periphery. Such a condition is called as endark. In the case of collateral, here you can see the xylem is towards the center and phloem is towards the periphery. What is conjoined? You can see xylem and phloem lying on the same radius. Okay. Here an important term is there, children. You have to underline in your textbook. There you can see the vascular bundles are arranged in the form of a ring around the pith. Such a condition is called as eustele. Okay. Next in the order you have got the pith, whereby the pith is going to be having several layers of parenchyma cells, and this is the area which is going to store the food material. Okay. In the next class, I will be giving you the, I will be explaining you the internal structure of monocot stem for you. Along with that, dicot stem and dicot leaf and monocot leaf also will be explained for you. So until then, if you get your books, please start learning from your material which we have given for you, and start practicing the diagrams also, children. This will help you in future. Finally, you will not find time to complete anything, and this is an important part for you in your practical. So you need to learn this one. Try to learn all the parts. That vascular bundle which I taught you in the last class, it's an important detailed question. Okay, and either of these questions is expected in your detail. Along with that, many 2-mark questions are there. I'll mark as soon as you get your textbooks for you in your next class session. Thank you, children.